Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Hello and thank you for tuning to Millennium Movies. I've been pretty sick the past few days, so I'm barely starting to feel better. So bear with me with my sound. I'm probably gonna work myself up here talking about Halloween Ends. I'm gonna see if maybe some people start to come in here. Maybe we can talk together. But if not, hey, I'll just go in. I'll just go in on. I'm just gonna go in on this movie all by myself. I guess in that case, this video also I need to clarify for anyone who may be watching this later than when the live video goes up. This is gonna be spoiler filled, spoiler heavy, spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie, don't watch this video. If you have and you want to know my thoughts, then I know I look like I know I look like the most basic modern shitty male character that you would see in a reboot of The Ring or something. I know that's what I look like right now. Bear with me. Anyways, Halloween Ends pulls The Last of Us 2. And the way I mean that is not in, killing off a major beloved character, early on and then we have to play as somebody else. No, what I mean is Halloween Ends pulls a Last of Us 2 in the sense that it tries to take a swing and do something different, but it completely misses. And and in doing so, it really alienates a lot of your hardcore fans. And sure, it might work for casual fans or people who are just, barely jumping onto the train of the hype of, this massive property. But for the people who have been there for the long run, for the people who have been there since the beginning, and I know of course, look at me, I wasn't around in the 70s watching, the original Halloween, but, you know, I have seen that movie. I have seen several different iterations of it now, movies that aren't canonical anymore. A Rob Zombie version that's, was its own separate thing. And then now, we got the David Gordon Green movies. And man, I just got to say, I don't understand why you would not use your legacy characters. You have characters like Michael Myers, the OG Michael Myers. You have Laurie Strode. You have the sheriff who's not a sheriff anymore. You have Lindsay. Why don't you use these characters? I mean, instead you throw someone at us in Corey Cunningham, who you're throwing so late in the game. This is the last movie in this. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted as I see it was going to be much longer, more action. I'll rate it 7 out of 10, but Mike was only on camera for like 3 minutes total. The main guy they gave court spot. Yeah, man. Thank you for first off for tuning in, but I totally agree with you. I mean, I was just saying that this kind of pulls The Last of Us 2 in terms of not killing off a main character and then having us play as a new character that you're introducing. But what I mean by that is that they're giving the story seemingly to somebody that they're just throwing in so late into the game, and it really alienates your main fan base, your hardcore fan base. And I just don't understand how you do something like this and expect it to go well. This is a very divisive film, and I can see that a lot of maybe hardcore fans and fans of the original film and fans of even the 2018 movie, like myself, just aren't vibing with this. And the reason again for me is just this is kind of Corey Cunningham's movie, and that would have been fine if you did this in 2018. But instead, this is supposed to be the conclusion to Laurie Strode and the original Michael Myers storyline. This is it. There's no more after this. After this, we're probably going to, years from now, Michael Myers is such a popular character. He's such an icon in horror. And, years from now, these movies make money regardless. Years from now, we're going to get another Halloween movie and probably another trilogy or, so on and so forth. So this is the end for these characters. We're not going to see these characters again, at least not played by these actors. And man, to end it with throwing in a brand new character at just so late into the game, it doesn't make any sense to me. It really doesn't. And I think I think more so, story wise and screenwriting wise, it's not a very smart thing to do. It really isn't. I'm so dumbfounded by it. I'm really disappointed by the direction they decided to go with here. I thought that David Gordon Green and even Danny McBride, who I'm a big fan of as an actor, I thought they did a really good job with the 2018 Halloween film. And I know a lot of people don't really like Halloween Kills. I have my issues with Halloween Kills in terms of, bringing back so many legacy characters just to kill them off. Um, I didn't agree with that, but hey, I can live with it because I was hoping with Halloween Ends that we would get to see more of Laurie, we would get to see more of Lindsay, and we would get to see more of the surviving original characters, or at least even characters that he brought in from 2018 Halloween, and maybe we could see those characters have this final battle with Michael, and we do get a final battle between Laurie and Michael, but he's an he's a shell of himself. And man, it's hard to really articulate my thoughts because I'm coming into this so hot right now. I don't have my thoughts fully, I can't really quite articulate my thoughts the way I want to, but I'm just so disappointed in this movie. I really am. There's just no other way to say it. I haven't been this disappointed in a horror film in years. And I think the fact that I can't articulate my thoughts right now really shows. I was excited after Halloween Kills, though, knowing that Halloween Ends was the final, so anything could happen. I just didn't expect Halloween Ends to end the way it did. I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you, champ. We're in the same boat. I mean, again, I'm sort of at a loss for words right now. And you may be new to the channel, you may not be, but that doesn't happen to me. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because when you give all these kills to a brand new character, someone that we just met, that we barely had a cup of coffee with Corey Cunningham. That's how little time we've spent with him. That's how little we know about him. When you finally do give the people what they came to see in a slasher movie, people want to see people get killed in cool, creative, and innovative ways, right? Bloody, disgusting ways. And we're not trying to be gore monsters here, but that's why people come to see slashers, because we want to see the kills and we want to see them in cool ways. And we kind of get a few of those kills, but again, when you put someone behind the mask that we don't care about, that we're not invested in, that we haven't been given enough time to care deeply about these characters, the kills have no substance to them. They don't matter. And I understand, again, I understand, the point they're trying to make here maybe is that, you know, evil doesn't have, there's no personality to evil. It's just this thing that exists, and it can encompass and it can infect any one of us. There's that type of evil, and there's the evil that, is always within. And I understand what they're trying to say. I just don't think they quite stuck the landing on what they were trying to say. And I think, you know, I can, I can't, I can't buy it. I really can't buy it. It feels really disingenuous to me. It feels almost a little disrespectful to me as well, to be, to give those Michael Myers kills to a brand new character that you just introduced into the last movie of this entire. It's not a saga because there's obviously 4 movies, but this brand new trilogy of movies into the Michael Myers and Laurie Strode storyline. It's just, I can't, I really can't believe that they did this. You know, the movie should have been entirely about Laurie Strode and her granddaughter Allison together, trying to, either still going out to try and find Michael, or actually trying to sort of in a way move on together. But instead, we have Allison, for storyline purposes, being, really indifferent towards Laurie, and she's not. Excuse me. Corey was given the spotlight, and I hated it. Willie does wrestling. Hey, Willie, thank you for tuning in. I don't think I've ever seen you before, so you might be a new viewer. I agree with you. Corey was given the entire spotlight, and I hated it as well. It takes a lot for me to not like a horror movie. It really does. I mean, look at what I got in the background. Huge horror fan here. I liken it to The Last of Us 2 in terms of, you can't introduce a brand new character and give them the spotlight when you have a gigantic horror property that people are already loved your established characters, like, for example, Joel and Ellie and Tommy. People love those characters. We wanted to get more of those characters, but instead they introduced Abby, and hey, this is Abby's story now. That's exactly what happened here with Halloween Ends. You got Halloween, you got the OG Halloween, in the 70s, you got Halloween 2018, and you got Halloween Kills, and then Halloween Ends. That's supposed to be it. This is it. There's no more. We're not getting any Jamie Lee Curtis anymore. We're not getting any we're not getting the OG Michael Myers anymore. This is it. This is supposed to be the swan song send off to these characters, but instead you give them what, 10 minutes. You give them about 10-15 minutes of an action sequence towards the end of the film. And even then, Michael is this withered old man who just in the last movie, we saw him take out nearly an entire town. And I understand there's a time jump to sort of say, hey, there's been 4 years that have passed, so he's he so he's weakened, right? He's in a weakened state. He hasn't been killing, so there's no evil that's feeding him that's giving him this power, right? He's kind of gone off to die, and someone's brought him back to sort of give him that power back. But still, it feels really dishonest to me. It doesn't feel like this is what should have become of Michael Myers. This doesn't feel like this was a respectful and proper send off to the Laurie Strode character. Yes, she did win. Yes, she did finally kill Michael, but it just doesn't feel like a gratifying and satisfying ending to me. It really doesn't. And again, and the reason for that is because of the Corey Cunningham character. You know, it's not so much the character himself, it's the fact that you're throwing this brand new character into this storyline, this decades long storyline at the last second, and you're giving all the attention to him. It can't, there's no way it can work. I mean, I don't care what writers you have on board, and I like Danny McBride, I like David Gordon Green, I really do. Again, I like 2018 Halloween, and Halloween Kills, for as bad of a rap as it did get, when it initially came out, I'm not its biggest fan, but I still enjoyed that movie. I've seen it at least 3 times. I at least enjoy the kills. I at least enjoy seeing the legacy characters, even though they killed them off. There's at least things in those movies that I can take as a fan of Michael Myers and of Halloween and of just of slasher movies in general. And there's things that you can at least appreciate it with. You don't have to love those movies, but there's things to at least take away and say, okay, that's nice, or those are some cool kills, or I like those characters, or hey, we got to see some old characters, some OG characters come back up, and even if they're recast and we don't have the OG actors, it's still those characters. Here, there's almost nothing for fans who have stuck around for the long haul, or who have just or who are just really big fans of the OG Halloween movie and the 2018 movie and the Halloween Kills movie. There's almost nothing. At least off the top of my head, again, I just saw this movie. I just came out of the theater. I literally just came home and turned on my laptop, and we're here on the live stream. But man, off the top of my head, there really is nothing I can think of that I'm gonna take away from this movie and think, you know what, that worked for me. Because really, I just can't think of anything that worked for me. Same, Willie. Yeah, and actually, I wasn't even planning to see it tonight. I was actually going to see it tomorrow, but my dad had plans. I went to the theater with my dad, and I don't know what to tell you, Willie. I'm fucking. I got no words, Willie. I got no words. This movie has completely ended me. Halloween has ended me. Champ. Oh yeah, I totally forgot that it's on Peacock too. You know what? That was the real kiss of death right there. Was the fact that this movie was available on streaming on the Peacock app. That was the telltale sign right there that this was not going to be a good movie. That Blumhouse and Universal, I believe it's Universal, and Miramax, I believe, that there was some trepidation with the reception that this movie was going to get from audiences. Because you can't be as mad if you didn't spend over $20 on a ticket. You didn't spend all this money on popcorn and soda and candies or whatever you get, or the money that you pay for gas to go to the theater. It's different if you're at home and you're just saying, hey, you know what, I just own Peacock, so I'm just going to throw in the movie, and hey, it's not that good. I guess I won't be that mad. I went to the theater, and man, this was a waste of my money. Yeah, no, yeah. We're in this. We're all in agreement here, and I'm really, Yeah, I agree. There was no way you'd normally put the finale to a 40-plus year series on a streaming services on the exactly. That's what I'm saying with going back to, you know, with the way they did Lori and especially Michael in this movie. The characters really feel disrespected, and I think the fans who have been invested in this storyline for so long, even if again, I obviously wasn't around in the 70s. I didn't see the original Halloween movie when it first came out. I saw it maybe when I was like 7 or 8 years old. Again, probably too early, but I saw it when I was a little kid, and I've been a fan ever since. I've seen all the movies that followed it. I saw those Rob Zombie movies in the theater, and I didn't. I actually kind of don't mind the first one. The second one I saw it in the theaters. Whew, that was something else. I've seen these movies. These movies have been a part of my life since I fell in love with film, and it really feels like it kind of feels like a slap to the face, honestly. Yeah, this movie was a massive letdown. It takes a lot for me to be let down with horror properties, especially. You know, I got all these. I mean, freaking Jason needs to come back and save us, please. Voorhees, Voorhees needs to come back, man. I don't know if you guys are aware of the all the legal troubles with the Friday the 13th franchise, but with the teases, I think lately that we're gonna get another movie next year. Man, we need something. No, I definitely feel you. I think really, I think something that could have even sort of sort of simmered me down in terms of my disappointment and sort of my anger towards this movie is if some screen time was just given to characters that we've already known. I mean, what was I mean, even the stuff with Allison, I don't agree with. I don't agree with the direction they decided to take that character. And I know the only reason they did that, the only reason they wrote that into the script was because they needed the Corey Cunningham character to be that divisive force between Allison and Laura to get them on opposite ends of the spectrum. Yeah, yeah, you nailed it right on the head, Willie. Allison was annoying in this movie, and I really liked Allison. I was, I was super on board with 2018's Halloween and especially Halloween Kills with Allison to sort of be the new protagonist for these Halloween movies. I wasn't all the way sold back then that we were gonna just get Halloween Ends and that would be the end of it. And I was kind of thinking maybe the Allison character could continue on, the franchise, and maybe we would still get more Michael Myers beyond Halloween Ends. Those are my old thoughts, and that's just more so to let you know that I really like the Allison character in the previous movies, especially Halloween Kills, which again is not one of the best Halloween movies, but she's really good in Halloween Kills. And I loved her relationship with her ex boyfriend in that movie, who's I forget his name off the top of my head, but he that was a really nice character, and she had these layers and she had these relationships to these other characters you know that really made her character interesting. She had people to play off of, and in this movie, she's just kind of sort of the Gen Z ish millennial, modern, just troubled, lost caricature archetype that just really doesn't feel like it fits in a Halloween movie. It really feels like her character in this movie is annoying in a way that you get from modern original horror movies that that just don't land. Movies like generic movies that you can't even remember. Movies like Countdown. I don't know if you know that movie, but um, Laurie did save the mask at the end of the movie. Like the last scene on the table was his mask. Yeah, you're right on that. Yeah, you're right. The mask did stick around, and I understand. I think my interpretation of that ending with the mask, being on the table still in Laurie's house is the fact that, I guess like she was telling Corey Cunningham when she went to go visit at the house that, accidentally or manslaughtered or children slaughtered that kid. Um, that evil was always within us. I believe that, I get what I guess what they were trying to say is that when Laurie first looked into the eyes of Michael, that there she saw that evil that was within him, and that some of that evil was within Laurie, and some of that evil has to be within you if you're going to be capable of taking on someone like a Michael Myers and being able to be powerful enough to defeat him. So I guess that's sort of just the lingering effects, is that the mask is sort of the symbolism to the lingering evil that's just always going to be in the back of Laurie's mind. I think that's sort of what they were getting at with that ending. How many people did Michael even kill? That's a good question. Off the top of my head, I don't have the answer. Um, how many people did Michael kill? I don't know. How many? Better question. How many people did Michael kill without assistance? Right? How many people did Michael kill without help from you know fanboy McGee Cunningham? Who cares? I don't respect. I don't like the Corey Cunningham character. Um, yeah, I mean maybe just Corey, and even then, that's an assisted kill. Laurie, did all the damage, and Corey just came in at the last. Corey Michael just came in at the last minute, and did the finishing touches, right? So no, not even Corey. I don't think Michael kills a single person in this movie all on his own. Yeah, yeah. I don't think he does. I really don't think he does. I don't think Michael Myers killed a single person all on his own in this movie. And again, I understand what the story they're trying to tell here is that evil can reside in anyone and it can reside anywhere. And evil is this sort of this thing that can manifest from within us, or it can come from external sources. And the evil is a hard thing to sort of grasp and articulate and put into words. It's just sort of this it's this sort of no, no. I'm not going to give them the benefit of them having thought of this you know deep, intelligent, thoughtful story in Halloween Ends, because it just wasn't. And it just wasn't. And honestly, what's wrong with just giving the people what they want? We come to see a slasher movie. We already have our established characters. Just let them go at it. Just let them go at it, and don't be sorry for just giving us a basic slasher movie with some cool kills, some great dedicated screen time, and layers, and relationships and backstory to these characters that we've already spend a lot of time with and care about, to at least to varying degrees, and just let them go at it. I mean, this is Halloween Ends. It's supposed to be about Laurie and Michael, and they have a combined screen time in this movie, probably about like what, 35, 40 minutes. I mean, most of it is Corey Cunningham and Allison. And I'm at a loss for words again with this film. I really am. I mean, at this point, I kind of turned the discussion over to you guys, the people that we have here in the live stream. We got Willie and Champ in here, and maybe two other people as well. If any of you guys have any points that you want to make, or things that you want me to discuss about the movie, I'm more than happy to do that. No, I feel you. I really do. And I allowed myself to get really excited with Halloween Ends, because this has been such a big year, I think, for horror in general. And not only has it been a big year, but even this October has been a big year with movies like Hellraiser, Mike Flanagan's Midnight Club on Netflix, the Werewolf by Night special from Marvel that was actually good. It was actually pretty good. Um, what else? We got Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities. Unsolved Mysteries, I think, is coming back. So there's a lot of good horror out there from everywhere. Oh, the Dahmer series on Netflix. There's a lot of good horror and thriller, properties out there right now. And it sort of allowed me to think, wait a minute, no, hold up. Michael Myers is the king of all these horror properties. Chucky, even the new Chucky series is out. but Michael Myers is the king, and I allowed myself to get excited for it, and I guess maybe it's on me. Maybe it's on me for expecting too much from David Gordon Green and the like 50 writers that I saw credited on the beginning of the opening of the movie with the opening titles. Which the title sequence was really cool. I like the title sequence. So I never understood why Corey randomly wanted to start killing people. He accidentally killed the kid, sure, but why intentionally kill everyone else? Because he's angry. See, um, that's a thing again where I think you can kind of maybe see why Corey would go this route, but that's not so much the character's fault. It's just the screenwriter's fault, and it's the script's fault for introducing a character like this and this type of storyline, this type of swerve so late into the game. There's just not enough time to develop this character enough for your audience to understand why someone who is such a seemingly likable and genuinely good person and just sort of an outcast and a weirdo, but a kind weirdo. Why would they turn this way? There's not enough time. There's not enough time. There's no time. There's not enough time to develop a character and a storyline that a swing like that needs to be treated with the utmost delicacy. And for whatever runtime this movie was, throwing this type of character, throwing that type of storyline, throwing that type of angle into your decades long storyline so late into the game, it's not going to work. It really isn't. Werewolf by Night would have been good if it wasn't all, ooh, look, another 80-pound woman that can kill grown 250-pound dudes with a back kick. I'm gonna have to disagree with you there. I can respect that maybe that might take out some of the believability for you. Honestly, I really like the character, so as long as I like the character, I don't have a problem with it. I can agree with you in some cases, not in this particular one, but there are examples where I would agree with you. But I enjoyed that character in Werewolf by Night. I enjoyed the special overall. So I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that, but I'm just thankful that you shared your opinion with me. So, oh man, I tell you, Halloween ends. The best part about Halloween ends is that it ends. That's the best part. That's the best part about Halloween ends. Man, I'm sick. I don't know if I feel like I'm gonna wear myself out here. I might freaking pass out on live stream because I shouldn't be talking so much when I'm sick. Like I said in the beginning of the stream, some of you might have missed it. I mean, look at me. I look miserable. I look like I look like the most basic modern shitty character that you would see in a freaking reboot of The Ring or something. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, like I said, it just feels like this is it feels very disingenuous. It takes out a lot of believability to, you know, with Halloween Kills, and it completely contradicts Halloween Kills. Halloween Kills was all about, the more he kills, the more he transcends. And he's becoming this otherworldly being, right? He's not just a man in the mask. He's not just a man in the mask. Okay, if he's a man in the mask, how has he survived all these movies? How has he survived all this how has he survived all this head trauma? How has he survived all these stabs? How has he survived all these things being thrown at him, being stabbed into him, being impaled by all these things, being shot, being run over? And mind you, some of these things happen, just 4 years before this movie, right? Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills take place on the same night. Michael killed a whole fucking town without dying, but dies. Okay. It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. Again, that goes back to believability. Okay, if you want to say that he's a weak old man, then okay, it works. Okay, then it works because yes, you proved in this movie he is a weak old man, so it doesn't take much to kill him. The problem is it completely contradicts the mythos and the lore that you just set up in the last movie. Remember the closing The closing dialogue from Laurie Strode in Halloween Kills was that the more he kills, the more he transcends. He's becoming something much more than a man in a mask. He's something otherworldly, right? There's something supernatural to Michael Myers, and that's always sort of been alluded to, right? And they really sort of leaned into that with Halloween Kills. But then, oh no, in the next movie, no, he's just a man. He's just a man in a mask, and he's really old now. He was really old in the last two movies that you just saw him kill nearly half the population of Haddonfield. But 4 years have passed, and no, actually, he's just an old man, and really, he shouldn't be in this sewer hole. He should be in a retirement home because he's just an old man in a mask. And man, he just needs a break. He needs a break. Oh wait, no, he's not going to get a break. He's being forced to kill. Okay, throw him back in there, and okay, I guess 1, 2, 3, ring the bell, ding ding. Michael, thanks for showing up. Send the crowd home, not happy. Oh yeah, you're right. What's your comment on Hobo Myers? Yeah, no, I don't. That's another thing I don't. That's another thing I don't get is how is someone living in such close proximity to Michael Myers, and they're not in danger, but the second that a stranger gets thrown into the sewer with Michael, they're in immediate danger. I, I mean, that makes no sense to me. Why would Michael Myers? We know that he leaves the sewer because he goes out. He goes out to pull Corey Cunningham back in. So why has he left this other homeless man who's clearly been lodging under this bridge, under this driveway for who knows how long? At least at least for enough time for him to be set up there with nobody, police force, anybody coming down to bother him. So why is he allowing, some homeless guy to just, be his neighbor? Michael Myers, I guess, doesn't mind having homeless neighbors now. And yes, that was one of my earlier points as well with, with legacy characters is, that was something that upset me in Halloween Kills was, you brought back so many legacy characters, you brought back so many OG characters, and again, some of them weren't played by the original actors, just that was okay with me, but you brought them back just to die, and that upset me in Halloween Kills that you brought back all these characters just to kill them off, and then with Lindsay, okay, you spared her, so I assumed okay, you spared Lindsay because she's going to have a big role in Halloween Ends. Nope, nope, no. Lindsay gets absolutely nothing to do in this movie except, oh, hey, look, I'm in Laurie's house and look, we're playing cards. And remember me? Hey, I'm Lindsay. I'm alive. Michael didn't kill me. I was spared in the last movie. For what reason? I don't know. I'm just here, just playing cards, chilling. Good old Haddonfield. I mean, if that, and with what they did with Lindsay in this character, why have her show up? Why have her here? Why? If I'm okay with you sparing her in Halloween Kills if you're going to use her in Halloween Ends. If not, you should have just killed Lindsay in Halloween Kills, and at least give that movie some more, at least get the kill count up in Halloween Kills, and give another gut punch to the fans who really were hyped for the legacy characters like I was. I mean, it's like the worst of both worlds. You didn't kill her off with all the other legacy characters you brought back. So, there wasn't like you didn't go full in on that. And then you spared her to use her in Halloween Ends, but you also didn't go all the way in on that on that either. So, I mean, so like it reeks of Halloween Ends reeks of a movie that just wasn't thought of. And I think like thought of with, deep, intellectual meaning behind it. Look at the beginning of the title sequence. For some of you who were saying you saw it on Peacock, or for people who are going to watch it on Peacock again, maybe if you're going to get the streaming service to watch it again, or if you already have the streaming service, go put on the title sequence. I think I swear there might be five, but there's at least four writers on this movie who get credited, and that's usually the kiss of death when it comes to the quality of a movie. For a TV series, that's okay. Of course, you want to have a room of writers for a TV series, naturally. But for a film, a feature film, you usually don't want more than two writers. You really shouldn't even have more than one writer for a feature film. What makes a great feature film is when you have one person's vision, one person's idea for a film, and you execute it. And at the beginning of the film with the title sequence, there's like 4 or 5 different writers who are accredited for the script for this movie. There's just too many cooks in the kitchen here. And I think that's why we have such a convoluted story, such a messy story, such a messy movie. And, characters who, it feels like somebody was like, ooh, I like this idea for, this Corey Cunningham guy. And then someone else was like, hey, you know what? Let's get a DJ who also, is kind of heckling people and sort of being a nuisance for the town of Haydenfield. And then someone else was like, hey, oh, you know what? Well, what could other be another interesting storyline is, hey, have this nurse who's Allison's friend who's like trying to screw her out of her promotion. And hey, she's fooling around with the doctor. And, these characters, they take away a lot of screen time from characters like Lori and like Allison, who the movie should be focusing on. And and instead, there's just too much going on here. There's too much going on for the movie to work, and it shows. It shows in what we got. Because this movie just wasn't it. There's just no other way about it. Oh man, I've kind of tired myself out here. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I've ever talked this much about a movie this immediately after watching something. I think the last time I was this disappointed with something was Midsommar. Um, I know a lot of people like Midsommar. I was just disappointed with it. Midsommar's not a bad movie. I just was. I was just let down with my own expectations. But man, I think that's about it from me. Um, if anybody wants to chime in with some last minute thoughts here, I'd be more than happy to listen to them. But if not, then I think we're probably going to end the stream here. And I guess some last minute updates too for the channel. If some of you who are new here, I've never seen Champ and Willie. I've never seen you guys at least engage on the channel. Maybe you are subscribers. If you're not, um, I'm going to be dropping some video essays for some horror movies. I got some already on the channel, but I'm actually going to be dropping one next Monday for the Kevin Smith film Tusk, and then on Halloween on October 31st, we'll be dropping one for the 1958 version of The Blob. So you know, if you like horror and you maybe want to stick around with someone who talks a lot of horror on this channel, then hey, consider sticking around. I'm also going to be covering the brand new VHS 99 movie on Shudder when it releases. I believe sometime next week on the 20th, if I'm not mistaken. And the VHS movies are always a ton of fun to cover. So we're going to be doing that on the channel. And, everything else horror, it's going to be on this channel. So, yeah, that'll be it for Millennium Movies. I'll see you all very soon.